Okay, good day everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use Photoshop. Now the basics, I'll try as possible to explain in details how to use Photoshop. So Photoshop is very simple. Now all you need to do is just to understand the uses of the individual tools. Now if you understand that and you have a concept, and all you need to do is just to think of what tool to use to achieve that concept. Now I'll take you through each tool. This one here is called the move tool. Now before I use any of these tools, let's open a picture or something, and to do that you can come here, file, then file, scroll down, open. Okay, it's loading. Let me look for a picture now. Let me look for a picture. Okay, let's use this one. Let's use this one. So I did a training, a tutorial earlier on how to cartoon. So, and some people said they did not know how to use the Photoshop. Now this is our image. Now this is what the first one is, what we call the move tool. Now the move tool is used to move objects around. Now this here is called the layer panel. It's called the layer panel in here. So this right here is called the layer panel. Now this layer is where each action you perform is going to come. Now for this image, this is a background. This is a background image. Now it will come here. Now the next action you're going to do, assuming you apply a blur, is going to apply it on top of this one, making the second one. But let's not go there yet. Now let's go back to the tools. Now this is move tool. It is used to move things around, objects around. Let's say I want to move this one. Okay, let me unlock it. I can't touch it because it is locked already. So to touch any picture, you need to unlock it first. And you see this background, this padlock here, just take it, double click it to actually press OK. Now it is free. There's no more padlock there again. There's no more padlock there. Now you can move it. You see, now we're moving our object. Now this is the work of the move tool. Just like in real life, you can use your hand. Just think of everything as real objects, real life environment. Now this is the move tool. You can use it to move things around. Now the next one we're going to go to is the let's see, let me see the name. Okay, single column marquee tool. Now this tool is more like cropping. Now I've clicked it, it brought another sub menu again. There are different type. Let's use the rectangular one, first one. Now look at what it's going to do now. Now it's marking that area. So it's marked this area. Now this is the tool. Now individually, the first one is for move, this one is for selection of an area, but the selection is to be in a rectangular form. Let's go to the next tool, and this one is called the lasso tool. There's lasso tool, there's polygonal lasso tool, magnetic lasso tool. Now let's use lasso tool. Now lasso tool is used for selection also. Let's say this image. Now let's zoom in, and to zoom in you press in Photoshop. To zoom in you press Ctrl and plus sign on your keyboard. That's Ctrl Shift, sorry, Ctrl plus, that is to zoom, and to zoom out Ctrl minus, like this. Now let's zoom in to use the lasso tool. So we're there now. Lasso tool. Let me zoom out a bit. Now I want to select let me say the face, like this area. Now this is where the lasso tool will be useful. Now you right click without removing your hand to select the face. Can you see? I'm selecting the face now. Selecting the face. My hand is not, I'm rushing so it's not going to be fast. So yeah, now the face is selected. The first one, the marquee tool, is a rectangular selection tool. This one is used for a shapeless selection. For example, I can shape this now. You know, this one is shapeless. It's more like something that doesn't have a specific shape. It's more dynamic than the first one, so I can select anywhere I like. It's more like a pencil selection. Now that is that about that. Now let's go to the next one. Now the next one is quick selection tool. I like this tool, but it doesn't work for all pictures. Now for example, you want to select this image now and you don't want to stress yourself. Just click the quick selection tool. It would automatically select the image itself and leave the background out. So let me click. So you just right click. So it's selecting the face by itself. It selected the face. Let me select the whole body. Now you see it's selected and left the background. The brown background is left out. You see, now it's selected the person. Now this is the use for quick selection tool, but in terms of rough images it would not work. So at times it works, at times it doesn't work. And inside this menu here we have another one, is the magic wand tool. It works like this one too, but differently. So this one too, you select. I don't like this tool, this magic wand. So it's not advisable to use this magic wand because it's selecting rubbish. So but for some cases, I don't know what work you want to use it for, it might work for you. Now the next one is crop tool. Now this crop tool, just like the name, is used to crop items. Let me select crop. Let me zoom it out, Control and minus to zoom out. So let me just say I want to remove this the cute student. It's there already. Now I just come here, right click without removing my hand, drag it down to my satisfaction, then come to the bottom again, drag it up to my satisfaction, then click enter, press enter on your keyboard. Now it has selected it. Let me zoom in a bit. Sorry, zoom out. Now it has selected it. You can see I've cropped it using crop tool. So let's go to the next tool, eyedropper tool. Let's keep this one. Spot alien brush. This is used for just say, let's say if you have the image that has someone that has pimples on his or her face. This is what spot alien brush is using. Is this spot alien brush? Yeah, spot alien brush. Assuming there was a pimples here, I'll just click it. It's going to clean it. This is for beauty editing. So basically I'm doing this training for cartoon training. You check my other videos, that's what I did last time. So it's basically for cartoon, so we don't need this tool for now. Now this one, let me keep this. Inside this list I have patch tool. Now what does this patch tool does? It is used to remove objects that you do not want. Let's say this stuff here. Now this one, you don't like it. Now all you need to do is just to mark the area you want to remove, then move it to the area that looks like that area. So it's going to copy it. Let's move it up here. So it's copying that place and replacing it. See, it has removed that object there. Let's remove this one too. Let me see. So where do I want to copy from so that it will duplicate and replace it? It doesn't copy. doesn't cut completely. I'll try it again. Let me do it here. So I have to be very careful so I will not mess things up. So that's just it. And this one, let's remove this one. So this one is the most easiest because everything is, so you just drag it to where you want it to copy from. That's the patch tool. Now the next one we're going to use is brush tool. Now what this brush, it's just the same thing as it sounds. Now what does this brush tool does? Now you see something, I'm coming, let me show you something. Now with the last tool I use, it's marked this area here, which means any tool I'm going to use, it will only apply in this area because that's the only place I marked. So assuming, okay, let me try something, see what I'm trying to say now. Okay, now this is a brush tool. Now I want to paint over a place. Now this is a brush tool, I want to paint over a place, and the color that is currently active is black. How do I know it's black? Because this place, any color here is the color that the brush is going to take. Now let me brush through our face like this. Yeah, let me just brush everything. Now this is what the brush tool does, just for painting the face. Now let me undo it. To undo on Photoshop is Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Alt Z, sorry, Ctrl Z. Now I've undo. Now I want to select, I want to paint a place, but I just want it in a specific place. What I'll do is to come here, come to this lasso tool here, then select this eye here. Now it has selected this eye. So whatever I'm going to do, it's only going to apply to this eye, which means if I come to this brush tool, now I paint here, it's not going to paint. Only if the brush enters the eye, that is when it's going to paint. You see, it's only that side that got painted. And to remove the mark there, you just press Ctrl D to remove it. Now you see it's there. Now because the mark is not there, if I brush now, everything will brush. But let me now put the mark there. Let me put the mark, let me brush and see. You see if it will brush. This one's, because I told it to only brush where I selected. So you see, I've combined two tools to achieve something. I'm getting somewhere. We're going to use plenty of tools now. It's gradually. So let me try to clean this. Sorry. Oops. Okay, cleaned it. And to remove this sign here, this selected area, just click Ctrl D. It's going to remove. Now let's go to the next tool. Now the next tool is called Clone Stamp. Now what is Clone Stamp? Basically, it's going to clone an area which you selected to the new place you're clicking. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's say an object, or I want to double this eye here to a cheek here. Let me, to do that, we're going to use this circle shape. So whenever I press Alt on keyboard like this, I'm telling it, okay, copy from a certain place. You see this round shape. If I press Alt and press click, right click at the same time, Alt right click at the same time, it has memorized this place already. So if I move it, you see it's moving it. So if I want to place that, I just right click, that's copy. That's copy. So if I want to copy from here again, I press Alt, click, then move down, click it. So that's how it is. That's how it is. That is what that tool is used for. So let's move to another tool again. Okay, this one is history brush, it's not useful. Now this is the eraser tool. Now eraser tool, let me show you what eraser tool can do. I'll show you what eraser tool can do. So let me say I did a black brush here. Now I need an eraser to clean this. Now let's come back to this layer again. I'm sorry, don't get confused, just follow me gradually. Now assume this image here is a piece of paper. Now you want to brush on it, but you want to brush on it, you want to apply a brush. Sorry, you want to paint on it, but you want to paint in a way that you can clean it. Now to do that, all you need to do is more like you should place a transparent glass on it. So when you make a mistake, all you need to do is just remove that transparent glass and everything will be normal, which means everything you're going to apply, it will be on the transparent glass, but it will reflect through the first glass to this one, so you won't notice. Now to do that, this is the first layer, right? This is where layers are. Now you put a transparent glass, put a layer, create an empty layer. Now this is a transparent glass here. Now I'll then come here to brush tool. Now let me brush on it, let me brush it. So for example, I did a mistake. I was like, I did a mistake. I'll just come here, this high here, and click it. It's gone. Or I'll delete the transparent glass. It's gone. But let me bring it back. Now the usefulness of this is just to repair mistakes. For example, if I did not put the transparent glass there, I just brush directly on it. Now how do I delete the brush? If I click this, everything is gone because I didn't separate this one from the image. So this is more like I'm separating the two of them. So to do that, click it, create a transparent glass, then brush on the transparent glass. The transparent glass is still going to reflect through this one. Now you see it's gone. Now let me now go back to eraser tool. This is where eraser tool would work again. Now because of this first layer that is on top, anything that is on the first layer is what this eraser tool is going to affect. Anything beneath is not going to affect it. So what is on this first layer, the transparent glass, it is only what I brush. So only what I brush would the eraser tool clean. Let me show you now. You see, why is this possible? Because the transparent glass is on top of the main image here, which means anything I clean on top of the transparent glass is what is going to be affected. Only what I apply on the transparent glass is what I can touch. Now if I want to touch the main image, I need to come to this layer, right click once. Now if I clean, the down one too is clean. You see, it's also cleaning because I'm here. Now that's not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do is just the transparent glass. I just want to clean this top. You see, it's cleaning. So with this technique, there are plenty things you can do with this layer, this transparency and everything. So the next one is gradient tool. I don't think we need it. The next one is blur tool. It's very simple. So now this blur tool, what it does is just to blur things off. Let me delete this first layer, this transparent glass. I want to work on the main image. Let me blur this side. Let me blur it. Now this side is blurred. If you notice, let me show you. Let's do it in a way that you will notice it. Now to do that, I'm going to double this image, this layer. Let's come back here. This layer, I'm talking about this layer. Now I'm going to double it. To do that, I press Ctrl J. Ctrl J is used for duplicating layer. Now how do I do this? Because the first layer I said was transparent. Now this one is not transparent. It is just the same thing as this one too. So I'll tell you why I did that. Now let's blur one side of it. Let me blur one side of it. You see what I'm trying to say? This is a blur tool. You're blowing it off, blowing the face off. Now I want you to notice the differences. Now you know this is the first layer and the second layer too are the same thing, but the layer I worked on was the first one, which means it is only the first layer that will be affected. Now if I hide this, you're going to see the second layer, which means you see the unaffected area too. So let me show you now. Let me hide the first layer which I worked on. You can check the image, you can see that the blur is coming and going, it's coming and going, coming and going. That is because I'm hiding where I worked on. But because the image are the same thing, some side will not be affected. Only what is affected is what would shake, would change. You can see that is used for the blur tool. That is that for the blur tool. Now let's go to let me see. This one is, I think this one is dodge and burn. This is more like beauty tool, but I use it for my cartoon too, but not, yeah, I use it for my cartoon. It's very important too. So what the dodge and burn does is, the dodge is to highlight and enhance places that light on your skin texture or skin tone. Now for the burn tool, wherever is dark is going to darken it more. For the sponge tool, I don't use that tool at all, so I don't even know what it's used for. So let's use dodge and burn and see. Now I want to notice the differences. Now I'm going to duplicate this so that I would know what were the changes I need. Now where were we? Okay, the dodge tool, yeah. Now let me look for where there's light, this skin light. Okay, this place. Now let me brush through it. Now if you want to brush through something, you right click without removing your hand and brushing through it. Oh, the exposure is too low. That's one. Let me increase it to 12. Okay, let's see. Let me here too. I can see light here. This is very important too. This tool I'm using because we're going to use it for cartoon. I use it for cartoon a lot. This gives it the pop feel. Wherever you see light, just light skin, just brush through it. Let's check the differences. Let me now hide the first layer which I was working on, which everything I applied would work on. It's more like transparent, but it is not transparent. So let me hide it now. The difference is not that obvious. It's not obvious enough. Let me increase it then. Let me increase it. Let's make it obvious that you will notice. It's not advisable to make stuff obvious like this. It's going to ruin your stuff. So whenever you're using dodge and burn, just try to use the lowest number possible, then build on it till you're satisfied. So let's check the differences now. You see, can you see the differences? This is light. Now let's move to dodge and burn to now check where there is dark side. Now this place is dark. Let's darken it more. This will give you this, I don't know, this edited glowing skin feel. Apart from cartooning, they use it for photo retouching to give you this smooth, nice, clean. Oh, the exposure is too low. It's not advisable to increase it. This is more like a training. That's why I'm rushing things up like this. So let's check before and after. That's for the dodge and burn. So this one is the pen tool. This is more for the masters. The pen tool, you need to go and learn this one separately, because it's very important. It's one I use for my cartoon, but if you cannot use pen tool for your selection, because you do a lot of selection, I would advise you use lasso tool or polygonal lasso tool or magnetic lasso tool. Now let's go back to the pen tool. Pen tool is more like pen tool, but it gives dot. Let's say I want to map this whole image now and remove it from the background. Now that's right click. I press right click and drag. You need a separate tutorial for this, not to use pen tool, but because I'm used to it, I know how to use it. It's not that easy, but I'm just using it. But if you need the tutorial, just comment on the comment section below. Now if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, so that way you get updated on any tutorial I'm making. Now wait, I did something now. After I'm done selecting, I would press Ctrl Enter to tell it I'm done. Ctrl Enter. Now I selected it. So now that's it for pen tool. It's more like lasso tool. So it's almost like the same thing. So that is that about pen tool. But if you need that training for that, because it's a very useful tool, this pen tool and selection tool and brush tool, those are the most important tool. But you need to like do an extra training for that one. If you need the training, depending on how much comment I get on the request, I'm going to do a separate training for that. Now this is a text tool. Text tool, just like the name implies, I just right click and type in my words. Okay, showing. Okay, let me not press rubbish. Okay, choose right. Okay, so that's just it. This is more for a pen tool. So if you're done, just come here, this sign here, this mark tool here, and click it. Okay, now let's say you want to move this text you wrote this text. Now just think of it. What are you going to use now? What tool are you supposed to use? Think the move tool. Now you come to the move tool and move the text around however you want. Let's say you want to put it here. So that's just it. Now let's move to, what tool is this? Now let me use this one. This one is more okay. This tool is for shapes. This is rectangular shape. Let's check on that shape. Circular, rectangular shape. Let's check on that shape. This one is circle. So that's just it for that tool. Let me remove every garbage. Yeah. Okay, get off. Now, so that's just it about the tools. That's everything about the tool. Now, let me come down to this one. So that is more like about the tool. Now, how do you use it for cartooning? So in cartooning, if you remember, the first thing I will tell you to do is to like separate the image from the background. So let's use our lasso tool to do that, because this is more easy for people. So now I'm selecting this first layer because it is the image I want to work on. So all I gotta do is draw on where I want to remove. Let's draw. So I'm pressing it without removing my hand. That's the left click. Sorry, I'm using the left click without removing my hand. Whoa, I did a mistake. I need to restart again because I did a mistake. Now to remove this, you click Ctrl D to remove that. So I got to restart again. But assuming it was pen tool I was using, I won't have to restart again. All I need to do is Ctrl Z. That's the benefit of pen tool. But let me not use lasso tool. Let me use lasso tool, but magnetic lasso tool. Now, what magnetic lasso tool does is that it automatically try to adjust what you're selecting. You can see my hand is not that balanced, so it's trying to balance everything by itself. So you can see it's more like it is very straight in its cutting, in its marking. So even if I make mistakes, so I would advise you to use lasso tool, but magnetic lasso tool. Now what I want to do now is to separate this image from the background. That's my target right now. So now that it is here, I just join it together. and then click Ctrl Enter. Now it has selected it. Now how do I separate them? Someone will say, let me come and use move to. Let's use move to and see. Since I've selected this one, now like I said earlier, it's more like a real life scenario. Now you've selected only this place. Now only this place is movable, but it didn't separate it. Now it spoiled everything. That's not the type of separation I'm talking about. So let me undo. Now to do that, all you need to do is Ctrl J to separate it. Now what you're doing is you're duplicating this image in another place, but without the background. So the only thing that is going to duplicate is the image only. Now Ctrl J. Now it has separated the image. Now if I hide the down, you can see if it is separated or not until you hide the below one that has the background. Then you will not see the background again. Now if you're confused and you do not understand, let me try and explain again. This is the first layer. Let me undo. Now this is the first layer. There's nothing here. I've selected it. Now this is just zero layer 0. Now if I want to duplicate this, which means I want to separate the two of them, the background, this is the background here and this is the main image. Now all I need to do is Ctrl J. Now if I Ctrl J, now what would happen is that you see this selected place, only the selected place that I selected, it will put it in another separate layer without this one because I didn't select it. So it is only the selected one that it will put it in another separate layer. So let me say Ctrl J. Now it has separated it, it has given it another layer. You can see if you look at it, it doesn't have white background. Now to make it visible, all you need to do is hide the below one that has the background. Let me hide this one now. You see what I'm saying? See, I hide it already. It's not there again. The background is not there. So it just changed from it was supposed to be okay. It's my system that is causing it. Can show you this one or the black. Now let me come back here and use my move tool to move things around. You can see I'm moving this. I'm moving it. Now assuming your selection tool, you selected this layer 0, it will not move because you didn't select the one you duplicated. So I need to select this one for it to move, and it will obey, so that is that about that. So now that you've selected this, now you're going to delete this below one. I've deleted it. Now let's say I want to put a background, a red background at the back. All I gotta do is come here, come to I think this is adjustment layer, this one here. Come to adjustment layer, this sign, this middle one, click it, solid color. Okay, let me give it red. Now do you remember I said do you remember I talked about something like transparent glass? Now this color is not a transparent object, so it's going to place it on top of the layer 1, the top of the image here itself. So how do I put this at the back of this image? You remember I said this is more like a real life scenario. Now just think of it as a paper. This red is now the paper. All you need to do is just to put this paper under this one. So how to do that is left click this color fill without removing your hand, then drag it down, then release. You see, just place it on top. Bam, just place it on top. So that's how to change background. So now let's say I want to fill this I want to, so that's just it. If you want to select our hair, just use the lasso magnetic lasso tool. That's just it. about everything. So if you know this, I think you're good to go. If you know this, you're good to go with any tutorial. So this tutorial, please try and drop your comments, ask questions. Don't just look at the videos, ask questions, subscribe to my channel, drop comments, like the video, and you would get a new update. Or if there is a challenge you're facing, just ask in the comment section, and if I have plenty of that questions, I might do a video on it. So that's just it. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.